And that is a catastrophic sight for Bradford City Football Club. The whole stand is going up in flames. This was supposed to be a day of utter joy, triumph and celebration. It's turning it into a nightmare.
The Bradford City fire is a well-known tragedy which has had a devastating impact on the Bradford community, the Bradford City fans and the local community as a whole. It has been well documented over the years, but what hasn't been documented is the role of the local Bangladeshi community.
The Bradford City fire was an absolute tragedy. I remember it quite well. I was only about 13, 14 at the time. My home, where we lived, was right next door to the stadium on Cornwall Terrace. For us, growing up, living in poverty was very difficult, and my parents could not afford to take us to watch the game. But we were fortunate enough, in terms of where we were living, we were able to watch the game from our attic. And on this particular day, 11th of May, was supposed to be a celebrating event as well. Bradford City won the title.
So on that day, I was watching TV with my kids, and sometime I heard noise outside, ambulance noise and fire brigade noise. Then came out and saw the fire broken out in the football field.
On the Saturday afternoon of the fire, I was watching the television with my wife. As it got to around about time for the half times throughout the country, John Helm came and did a piece to camera where he announced that there had been a serious fire at Bradford City Football Ground, Valley Parade.
All of a sudden, when all the commotion started happening as well, you can see people coming to the pitch and stuff, and as you are eager, you try and stretch out that bit more from your window. And I'm looking outside, and some players are coming in, and then you can see all of a sudden that this small little fire is slowly erupting in how I can imagine it. The smoke, the black smoke that started coming as well.
আমি যে ঘটনা হয়েছে, আমি ঘটনা দেখছি উবাইয়া আমার পরিবারে হয়েছে। এই টাইমে মানুষ বাড়াইবার না ফুটবল থাকে, তখন ও টাইমে মানুষ বাড়াই গেছে গিয়া। আমি উপর মুখে উঠে দেখছি গিয়া উপরে আগুন লাগছে, মানুষ কান্দিয়া বারোরা দৌড়িয়া।
What did you think when you saw the fire?
On the day of the Bradford fire, I was off-duty, an off-duty police officer working in my garden, when I received a phone call to attend at the BRI casualty. So I made my way to the BRI, and it wasn't until the journey down that I realised what the disaster, or the enormity of the disaster was, because I could see a plume of smoke coming from the Valley Parade ground.
You know, fire broken out so quick because it was wooden chair that time in the football ground. Might be someone get smoke, and that's why quick broken out. Fire quick broken out for this happened.
Oh, she said she has little baby and she's feeling hot. Something happened. So she going outside and see the fire. Yeah.
এরপরে আমার গরুর সামনে আইয়া মানুষ দৌড় হয়েছে, দরজা মারছে আমার। দরজা মারিয়া গরু একটা ফোন করতাম, আমার ফ্যামিলিরে পাইলাম না, পানি দো, পানি খাইছে। আমার গরুর ব্ল্যাঙ্কেট, 6-7 খান ব্ল্যাঙ্কেট আমি দিছি। মানুষ বাড়া কোনো পার্ক আসিল একটা, তো পার্কও নিজে ব্ল্যাঙ্কেট নিয়ে দিছি না।
Although I dealt with a lot of people at that time, and the members of the public that were concerned about victims, they also attended or rang up making inquiries, and my job basically was to answer any queries that I could and identify everybody that came.
I even remember there was a policeman whose hair was on fire on the pitch. You later saw it on the TV, but he actually came into our home and to damp his head with some water. Some people, like, you never ever would ever come across or whatever, and never meet as well in life as ever, even though they might be coming to the stadium for many, many years. We've never been in our little community as well, but all of a sudden a little tragedy touched the hearts of lots of people and stuff, and all the community got together, the Pakistani community, the Bangladeshi community, all come together as well, helping the police, helping the fire service, whatever they could, with like I said, with blankets, with food, whatever.
I saw some dead body and some wounded and some burnt body taking front of my house, and they asking some help, give some water, some blanket or towel, something. So we give as much we can.
In the corner in our street, there was all fire services, ambulances, police, etc. Whatever. There was just like panic, a lot of hysteria around the area as well. And I remember my dad saying, look, there had been a lot of tension before in terms of like how some of the fans would react to the community as well, in terms of working with different races, etc. But this was, I would say, one an excellent example of community cohesion as well, in terms of how things happened.
খাফের মাঝে গিরগিরাইয়া খেউজা লাইল কত নমুনার সমস্যা দেখছি। এরপরে যাই গুজারি রাইতে ওনারে নিয়া তারা নিচে আইয়া অ্যাম্বুলেন্স আইছে দেখছি। এরপরে রাইত দেখছি আমি 2টা-3টা বাজে তারা লাশ বার করছে। আমি আমার আত্মীয়র উপর তাকি দেখতাম, সকলটা বন্ধ করে তোরা আসছে, টুন্ডা মানুষ বার করছে তারা। ইলা আর কেউ দেখে না, আমি এখানে সাইটের ঘর আছিল আমার।
The police and security forces come to our house and say, go away, might fire broken out your house as well. So we have so much care. We have so much care. That's why everybody, not only my house, not only not in this area, Cornwall Terrace, Bali Parade, everywhere, everybody was care about this. This tragedy was very, very horrible. I never seen in my life this kind of tragedy,
Initially, we helped the fire service to clean up or clear up rather, with all their gear. And then after we'd finished doing that, we were delegated to have a wander around the streets to see if there might be any survivors who were suffering from shock or perhaps even with burns. As we were doing that, the local Bangladeshi community realised what we were up to, and they were bringing people out from their own houses, some wrapped in blankets to keep warm after shock. Other survivors told me that they'd been allowed to use the phone to ring home to reassure members of their family that they were quite safe.
So আমার যতখান দেখবার দেখছি, যতখান করবার সাহায্য করছি আমি, যে কইছে ফোন করতো আমার গোরতাই ফোন দিছি, তারা ফোন করছে, পানি খাইছে, ব্ল্যাঙ্কেট দিছি আমার গোরতাই বাড়া নিয়া ফুটাইয়া থুইছে মানুষরে, অনেক মানুষরে আমি দিচ্ছি করিয়া, যতখান আমার সাহায্য করবার করছি, আমার পরিবারও সাহায্য করছে বারইয়া।
After the fire as well, I remember we were all out, we were still out till late night, wherever we could help and stuff, I know.
Later on, about 3-4 days later, and so in the newspaper, 56 people were died. This happened, include 11-year-old children as well. So this was very sad news. So I hope never be happen this country like again.
years ago, 54 Bradford City fans and 2 Lincoln City fans came to a football match here in this city and lost their lives in the Bradford City fire. We gather here once again to remember them and to pray for those who were bereaved and injured on that day.
My abiding memory is people coming in dozens and dozens with flowers and everyone speaking in hushed tones. There's no shouting, there's no untoward behaviour from anybody. The whole of Bradford by now had accepted that a great tragedy had taken place. Word spread quickly in those days, and not through social media. That wasn't around in those days. It was just that being a fairly tightly knit community, people took their stories back to their pubs or homes, and the story spread about the fire. And that is something I will always remember.
Later then, some other people come to see and watching that tragedy. So we did help as much we can, and some other people also helped. So I hope never be happen this kind of tragedy again. I was tearing in my eyes seeing this kind of happen.
So we're happy that people will know the role played by the local Bangladeshi community through the Unheard Voices project. There will be unsung heroes that have not been mentioned in this project, but the Bradford City FC and the community as a whole will always be grateful for the support that they provided on the day.